they called leaders. This included Lena Horne. This included Dick Gregory. And this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
All right. Peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. And I had to play that clip right there because that is the great Malcolm X, also known as El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. And he was saying something that I've noticed today in this day and time. That's why I like listening to him, because some of his speeches are very relevant to this present day. And he was talking about the leaders, or lack thereof of leaders. And if you look in today's society, you will find that he is particularly correct in this day and age. When you think of leaders in the black community, who are our leaders? We have none, but we have entertainers, athletes, musicians, performers, actors, and famous people, celebrities as they call them, as our so-called leaders. Think about it. Every time there's a major issue, whether it's police brutality, George Floyd, or any law, any political conversation, who do they ask? Like, think about it. I remember when they paraded around, Cardi B, or remember Puff Daddy, Rock the Vote, Vote or Die. Every time there's a major issue, they'll ask a athlete, LeBron James. There are no, where are all, and I know we have some, where are all the financial analysts, the political scientists, all of those people with doctorates and degrees and credentials to address some of the issues that we face? But every time there's a major issue, they'll bring out a Chris Rock, or, like you said, a comedian to address the issue. Charlemagne the God, all of Stephen A. Smith. Everybody that is an entertainer, they actually value what they say, and people actually follow them. Hey, you hear what Beyonce said about this? But Beyonce is an entertainer. And I was talking to a brother, I think he was from Nigeria, right? And he was talking, and I think I was selling my books to him or something. And he was like, man, when I came to America, I thought you guys had great leaders. I heard about Martin Luther King and, Malcolm X, and, but when I got here, I noticed that you guys don't have leaders. He said the same things. He said you have entertainers for, the people to look up to. There are no black leaders. And you think about it. Who are our black leaders today? Now, back in the day, we had quote unquote Al Sharpton, but we know what he has turned out to be. Now, somebody said he was a federal agent, also a charlatan. But now what does he do? He always used to come on the scene, yell and scream, and placate the people. Well, this now is not the time to violence. He would always come on the scene, make a speech, and then that was it. Then we had at one time Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, or some would call him Messy Jesse. And some of the scandals that he got caught up in with his Rainbow Coalition and the likes of those things. And now I guess you can say, one of the leaders, quote unquote leaders, is Reverend William Barber. Now, William Barber just got quote unquote arrested for praying in the Capitol. Now, I personally know William Barber. I've actually worked with him on a couple of occasions. He was the pastor of a church right here in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Now, since he has rose to national prominence with this Poor People's Campaign and, other things that he's doing, he's kind of sort of forgotten about, the little town of Goldsboro. And I've heard some things, about him, whereas, certain people in certain organizations we're not too fond of him anymore. But that's what we have. You guys tell me, who are the black leaders in our community these days? There are none, because like Malcolm said, most of them have been bought and sold out. And most of the comedians, most of the entertainers, they are scared to speak the truth. Why? Because they get their checks from the major corporations, from the major businesses that they work for, the big studios, the NFL, the NBA. You notice how whenever it's a controversial issue, a lot of them are mum on the subject, or they'll dance around it, because they know if they say the wrong thing, then they're going to be blackballed or they're going to be fired. Think about Stephen A. Smith when he said something, something about women or something like that. And next thing you know, he was on air apologizing. And, I think Jalen Rose did that. You will see, a lot of the comedians, a lot of the entertainers, they are quick to apologize when they get that call, because they are no longer themselves. Whenever they sign those contracts, as they say, people say they sell their souls. They like when you sign a NFL or NBA contract, you have to abide by what they call a moral code. And that moral code can be whatever they say it is. If you speak out against something that you don't believe in, sort of like the alternative lifestyle or something, if you speak about that, you are subject to get, as they call, canceled, where you can't make any money no more. So even with those quote unquote leaders who are nothing but celebrities, who are, as Malcolm called them, puppets, even they cannot say what they want to say. And so y'all answer the question for me in the comments. Y'all let me know, where are the leaders? I don't see any. I don't see any. If somebody can name me one leader who is standing on something, we have the grassroots guys, like Quanell X or whatever, or I hear a lot about him in the street stomping, Rizza Islam, but they don't call themselves leaders. They are representatives of leaders. They speak their mind. And Louis Farrakhan, he's one who speaks his mind, but a lot of people don't like him just for that fact. He called a spade a spade. He called a strike, and a ball. And so, whenever we look for someone, to stand up for us and speak up and stand up for us right, we have to understand that a lot of these guys have been bought and paid for, and they don't want to lose that position. And so y'all answer me this question in the comments, man. I don't want to harp on it, but I thought that clip was very relevant to what we see today. Everybody's looking for a leader, but, we don't have any, especially in the black community. There's, like I said, anytime there's a white issue, what I'm saying, or issue, white people call up Dr. Fauci or, Bloomberg or, Warren Buffett, somebody with some credentials to address the situation. Like a lot of people was mad at, some of the politicians that were trying to get black people vote, because all they did was throw concerts. They'll bring, rappers and movie stars around and say, vote for me. Like, why should I listen to you? What credentials do you have to know about what's really going on in the political sector? And I hope I'm making sense. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching the videos. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Peace and blessings.